Hey everybody, and welcome back. I'm sorry it's been a long time since I posted anything. We've been slightly busy this winter, and it's now March 3rd, and I'm out here with the flock, just reveling at this beautiful flock I have here. I'll show them to you in a minute. We've had a lot of things happen this winter, including my daughter got married, part of which why it took me so long to get back into things. And then we had a pretty bad ice storm that took out a lot of foliage and branches from the trees. We didn't get it very bad compared to some other properties that you know, when you drive by our area, you can see. But there's quite a bit of branches down, and I'll show you some of that too. But I'm out here. I just got done with my chores out on the farm with the chickens, and I'm just reveling in their beauty. We have some beautiful chickens. So let's take a look at my beautiful flock, and then I'll tell you a little bit about them and what happened with my other meat birds and all that good stuff. So here's my flock. I have some gorgeous chickens, and so does my daughter. My daughter ended up getting a bunch of babies from the Murray McMurray hatchery, and they were mostly Americanas, so that she could have, so there's one of them on top of that little heap right there, so that she could get some blue and green eggs, hopefully. We ended up actually from that batch only having a few, and I haven't counted them all. I'd have to go back, maybe 3. We had them ship us 12, well maybe 4, I see 4. And there's a couple of dark ones, so if you know your breeds, let me know. There's a couple of dark ones. Oh, excuse you. She's bothered by that. But what we did not anticipate was having 3 roosters. By the way, they're gorgeous, just gorgeous. And very tame, very sweet, actually. We have this one over here, and he's got this grovelly, manly voice. And they're still juveniles, like the hens haven't started laying. So, okay, so these 2 dark ones, I think they're still Americanas. They're just dark, and I love it. So if you know your breeds very well, let me know. But anyway, so now we have 4 roosters in a very small flock. So we're really trying to figure out what the best course of action is. And we have some big news. If you already know what it is, then awesome. But we have some big news happening on the farm. But so it's kind of helping, you know, with our decisions on what to do. First of all, with the roosters, and then second of all, with the whole flock. But at any rate, I just spread out some hay for everybody to be interested in, because I have several that are completely flying the coop, including this beautiful little blonde one, who was a surprise in Alex's flock, because we don't know what breed she is just yet. She's still quite young, and she's pretty. Yes, Bob wants to say hi. Haven't seen her breed before, so I don't know what she is, but she's beautiful. So I'm going to go back here, and I raked a lot of this up, but this is the pile just from this little area right here, and you can still see there's quite a bit of debris back here. But all these little branches and things fell, so I made a little pile back here to take out later. But this is just what was in on the roof in here, which I still have a lot of cleaning to do, and what was on the ground. So it was really soft because it was all needles, pine needles and pine cones, and a lot of short, small branches. And as you can see out here where I have not raked outside the run, that's just what our property looked like. We had ice. It came up about, it piled up on the leaves and branches about almost 2 inches. And it was slick. It was just this really pretty shiny coat of ice on everything. And it ended up covering, listen to that manly voice you have there. So handsome. I mean, just look at him. Isn't he gorgeous? I love the feathers on his back. We have some gorgeous birds. I am not gonna lie. So beautiful. And these guys are really nice. They're really sweet. And then they all get going. It's amazing. Anyway, so we had it piled up and then it all broke. And just like pieces of the trees. And when they were falling, it sounded like missiles, because and it was actually quite dangerous because they would fall and they were falling off in these, you know, big chunks of ice ball with tree attached. And it was to the point where you couldn't go outside for about a day. And then when the snow thawed, we had all of this debris everywhere. And like I said, some properties got it way worse than we did. You guys are so noisy. So noisy. Here, honey, people, have some sweets. So beautiful. I love these fawn colors on them. Unfortunately, this whole grouping is very skittish. So I have to clip some wings because I've got some that like to fly and go and meander around the property. And it's super dangerous to do that. So I've got to clip their wings, but I'm not going to do it till tonight when they're all in the coop and I don't have to chase them. I don't want to take my very happy, sweet roosters and make them angry because I chased them. So guys, I might have 5 roosters. I don't want to jinx it, but I've got that one there, this one here, that one there, that one there, and then of course Bob. Lord in heaven help me. Anyway, we'll figure it out as they get a little older. So my meat birds, that's the Brother Chateau right there, and I am feeding my layers in there. I'm also feeding them in here. But in there I have the meat birds troughs filled with feed for these guys because there's just so many of them and they eat a lot. So I have a couple places where they can eat and it keeps them happy. I also spread a couple of bales of hay around because they were getting antsy and flying out and looking for new places to roam. So now they're all interested in this, and hopefully that keeps them in. Anyway, I'm not ready yet to announce our big news, so I will do that at a later time. You'll have to tune in. Oh, excuse you. But I will be clipping wings tonight. So this was today's egg haul. This is not all from today, and they're quite dirty because I've left a few of them in there. But this was today's. Quite a bit. I think I only went out 2 or 3 days ago and got eggs. So we're having high egg production. And then I found a little secret spot where in the Brother Chateau where they were sorry, I was doing something and talking at the same time. That wasn't working. Anyway, I found a secret stash where they were hiding eggs. And so I found them and had about 5 eggs in there. Anyway, so this is the garden today. So anyway, I was watching Roots and Refuge today, and her video that came out today. And what I loved about it was, of course, if you don't follow them, please follow. I'll put a link in the description below because she is amazing. Her and her husband. I love what they do. I love what they stand for. I love everything about their garden and everything. But they had a wicked snowstorm. Ice, snow, just all kinds of stuff going on. And their plants did really, really, really well. I mean, there was some damage, but, you know, it's amazing what will continue to grow even after ice and snow. And look at all those. Those are all kinds of yummy brassicas. Even my spinach survived. And it was cold and nasty for a long time. Those are my garlic over there. And there's a little bit of damage at the top, but they're gonna be just fine. I planted about 400 cloves over there, and then over here, this is my other, you can see that. Sorry, that was a little detour in the whole description of everything. I have to go through and weed. But I was going to talk to you about the last of our meat birds. So our meat birds. I learned a lot. And I love it because I can be honest with you about what I learned this year. I learned from Justin Rhodes that how to plan for how many meat birds I'm going to raise. And just for my family. That's not including how much maybe I would sell to friends or give away, because I love having extra of those kinds of things. They're wonderful gifts. People don't think of it as, you know, I pull out a whole chicken from my freezer down there, and I say thank you for blessing me, or you know, I know your family's going through a hard time. Here's a meal, or 4. I mean, you could essentially get lots of food out of one chicken, but I learned from him how to plan for the year of how many birds we would consume, which was always kind of an enigma to me. How do you plan that kind of thing? And I think part of it is because meal prep in our family, and I don't know about your family, but it isn't as purposeful as I would like it to be. Right? So I have, it's like, ooh, what do we feel like making tonight? And that's hard on a budget. It's hard on a family our size. And I don't know why I never thought about actually planning a little bit more in detail. And there's lots of people that do. I just never got to that. My life was always too busy. But now I've been, you know, my brain has shifted in how I want to be purposeful and thoughtful. And so for the Rhodes family, they eat one chicken, I think it's one a week. I'm not sure. I'd have to look back and see. They do one turkey a month, and so they have it planned. Anyway, sorry if I butchered the actual quantities of how many he eats, but that's an awesome way to plan. So for instance, if you're going to eat chicken 3 times a week, you know there's 52 weeks a year, and you know you plan accordingly. And you know that if one of those weeks is going to be Thanksgiving, you're going to have turkey, you substitute. And so you just basically add it up. So that was one lesson I learned. Another lesson I learned is I don't want to do meat birds in the winter. I don't know why I thought I should. I didn't even think the process through. So we had 2 batches, and the second batch I couldn't help because I had already ordered it. So the first batch, we had done it, and we had finished, I think, in October. Maybe that third week in October. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look at my notes. And it was cold, and I was outside processing chickens. And my other batch had already come. I think they overlapped by a week, so I'd gotten my new batch of babies, and that next week I was butchering. And you know, there's nothing I can do. I already have these babies, and it was a massive batch, and I thought, oh my gosh. So what we noticed was the batch of birds that we had purchased, that we held through the winter, they grow slower. And I think it's probably just because it's cold outside. We don't have pasture. We've got hills as you can see, and very little grass. And so we don't have a place to move them to the way the Rhodes do, and a lot of other farms when they farm their meat birds like that. We hope to, but we don't have that here. And so I couldn't move them. I was feeding them strict feed, and that was difficult to get them to grow faster. So they lasted a lot longer, which meant I spent more on feed. And then, of course, we butchered them at nighttime, because the days are shorter in the winter, and by the time my husband gets off work, I am butchering them at night in the dark, and so we have floodlights on, and it's cold. I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to plan better and have enough birds to last us through the winter in my freezer. So it was just a lesson we learned. I learned it pretty much in October when I'm processing, and now I know I've got more birds to do. And then I did a lot of traveling, and actually they lived all the way through to January, and I processed them in January. It's a long time to have them. And some of them still didn't grow very big. So, lesson learned. My earlier fall and summer birds got bigger. They got bigger. They were all on time. It was perfect. I could tell they were happier, and I was happier to process them in warmer days. Even if it's chilly outside, it's still, you're working up a sweat by moving around and doing all that. And that's the way I'm going to do it from now on. So, lesson learned. But we got a bunch of birds. I got tons sitting in my freezer, and I have been able to bless other people with them, sell some, we eat some, so it's I am thankful that we have them. So I just know that I have learned a wonderful lesson. And again, I'm just amazed at what survived that amazing snow and ice storm. It's crazy what we have out here. And I am thankful for today, because it is sunshiny, as you can see. It's still cold, but it's sunshiny, and it has been for the last few days. And so I was out here doing quite a bit of yard work, kind of prepping everything for some mulch and fertilizer, so that what can be planted here next will have a nice head start. But anyway, I just wanted to check in and say hi, and probably in the next video or so I will have some news, and then I'll have not a movie, but a longer video kind of documenting all the new changes that are going on around here. So until next time, blessings to you, and have an awesome day.